Good morning, and welcome to our annual CPS Energy Memorial Day program. I'm Michael Garza, President of Veterans Connection, and on behalf of Veterans Connection, I'd like to thank our President and CEO, Rudy Garza, and our executive sponsor, Deborah Wainscott, Vice President of People and Culture, for their support of our Memorial Day ceremony. Yesterday, we were a little concerned about the weather for this morning, but we talked to our meteorologist, Brian Alonso, and it looks like he's kept the rain away for a little while so that we can enjoy our ceremony outdoors. Now, I am pleased to introduce our President and CEO, Rudy Garza.
Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Good? All right. Well, I want to start off. I know Memorial Day, they always remind me Memorial Day is not about the living. Memorial Day is about those who've passed. But we've got a lot of veterans who work here with us at CPS Energy. So I just wanted to take a moment this morning just to recognize our veterans. Raise your hand if you served in any branch of the military, if you're in the reserves. Thank you. How about a round of applause for our veterans? Thank you. Super proud of how hard we work to bring veterans into the CPS Energy family. So we appreciate you all today and every day, really. So my remarks today, there we go. My remarks today are really going to focus on the solemnity of what Memorial Day represents. For many Americans, the last Monday in May marks the unofficial start of summer. A long weekend with family barbecuing and gathering of friends. But for those who served in the military, Memorial Day holds a greater significance, and it's to commemorate the brave men and women who lost their lives defending a great nation. I want to start by thanking our 300 plus employees and past employees who are veterans and those who are currently serving in our military or have family members who are veterans and currently serving. I know a lot of us have kids who are in the military now, and so we think about them in their service today as well. So we're grateful for each of you. I also want to acknowledge members of our CPS Energy family who have lost loved ones in service to our country and for whom this Memorial Day holds particular personal significance. We honor their memories with you this morning as well. It's a day all Americans should take a moment to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. Memorial Day is a day for both grief and celebration, reflection on the tragic loss of life, and recounting the courageousness of service. We do this by sharing their stories with others and ensuring their memories live on even though they are gone. Stories like that of U.S. Army Specialist Lori Paistawa. Paistawa deployed in Iraq in March 2003 as part of the invasion. She and her best friend, Jessica Lynch, were on a convoy heading to Nasiriyah when they were ambushed and taken prisoner. Paistawa did not survive that ordeal. She was the first woman service member to die in Iraq and the first Native American woman in particular killed while fighting for the U.S. military. No matter where their battlefield was, in the mountains of Afghanistan, deserts of Iraq or Syria, skies over Europe, islands of the Pacific, frozen terrain of Korea, jungles of Vietnam, or elsewhere, the stories of the fallen matter and need to be told. By sharing their stories, we keep their memories alive and give others a glimpse of what it means to provide the ultimate sacrifice in service to your country that aims to inspire to create a better world, a stronger nation, and kinder communities. On Memorial Day, we reflect and share the experience of our fallen loved ones. But today and in the days that follow, we must act. Spent a lot of, most of y'all know I grew up with my grandparents, and my grandfather was in the Navy in World War II. And, when he and I'd sit in the backyard, in the latter years of his life, I must have heard those stories of his service in the military, probably 100 times, maybe 1,000 times, because that's all he ever talked about. And While it's certainly, we'd laugh about the friendships he created in the military, he'd always lament, and really, it would pain him to talk about those service members that he, of those, his friends that he lost over those years. He served in the Pacific Theater, and there was a lot of lost life in that part, really all part of World War II. But to this day, it strikes me, and I remember those stories because those are the stories that, our military who've made it, really hold dear. So let's carry that sacrifice with us and honor their memory by sharing these stories and reminding ourselves of the future they fought and died for, and do our best to live up to the values that they lived for: duty, honor, country. Today we honor those who've fallen and thank them for their service. Thank you.
Thank you for those thoughtful remarks, Rudy. As Rudy mentioned, Memorial Day is a day we all take a moment to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. We share their stories, we remember them, and we keep their memories alive. One other group we remember and honor are our nation's prisoners of war and those still missing in action. Tens of thousands of U.S. service members spanning multiple conflicts remain unaccounted for. Now that's hard to wrap your head around. Tens of thousands still unaccounted for. To be specific, it's more than 80,000. The families of those still missing in action live with the reality of their loved ones who never had the chance to be honored as a veteran will never again set foot inside their home. An empty chair at the dinner table, a parent missing important milestones in their children's life, and those children who will never know their parent. These are the costs paid in blood by those who stood up when their country called upon them. But America will not forget them. Last year during his remarks, Rudy mentioned of the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency, or DPAA. This agency sends teams all over the world, and after extensive research and investigations, they search fields, beaches, jungles, and sea to recover the remains of those still missing. Just 2 days ago, the DPAA announced that a sailor and an Air Force pilot, both from World War II, had been accounted for. This year, the remains of 61 service members have been identified and accounted for. In 2022, 149 service members were accounted for, and in 2021, 169 were accounted for, allowing their families to have peace, closure, and a proper burial. And CPS Energy remembers them by placing a POW MIA table at the Energy Cafe. So when you go and grab your coffee or lunch, stop by the table, read the poster, and read the poster next to it that explains the significance of each of the items on that table. This Memorial Day, when you take time to remember those who gave their lives for their country, remember those who are still waiting to come home. Ladies and gentlemen, please place your hand over your heart for the playing of taps. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our program. I want to thank Sergeant First Class Tyrone Page, U.S. Army retired and Army instructor of the Bracken Ridge High School Junior ROTC program, for once again supporting our event. And good luck to you, Daniel, as you wrap up your senior year and begin a new chapter in your life. And thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us this morning. Have a great and safe Memorial Day weekend.